Orcs who cannot withstand the mental strain of advanced technology are called Madboyz, or Nutters by their peers. These orcs are typically organized into squads, which can either serve as a secret weapon for the orc forces or become a dangerous liability. The ancient Xenos known as the Old Ones, referred to by orcs as Brain Boys, created the Krork, the ancestors of today's orcs. These Krork were likely designed as biological weapons for the Old Ones' war with the Necrons. The Old Ones embedded essential technological knowledge into the Krork's genetic code. This knowledge has been passed down to the orcs, who reproduce through spores released by every greenskin. Not all of an orc's built-in knowledge is available right away. When orcs emerge on a world without advanced tech, they start off knowing about as much as Stone Age humans. Over several generations, orcs gradually unlock more advanced knowledge. Eventually, mech boys instinctively know how to build high-tech gadgets like warp drives, tractor beams, and force fields, enabling them to travel across the stars. Madboyz often begin as primitive or feral orcs, who haven't yet got their brains wrapped around advanced technology. When these orcs encounter even slightly advanced tech, it can blow their minds. Their buried technical know-how kicks in all at once, instead of gradually, which can be a bit much for them to handle. This orc is called a Madboy. Because of their mental issues, even other orcs avoid Madboyz. In battle, Madboyz can be fierce fighters, but they might also go crazy and attack their own side, start to spontaneously dance in the middle of battle, inventing their own language, or sit in a scared, babbling state, while perfectly repairing a broken device. With a Madboy, other greenskins never know how they will behave, which highlights both the danger and the potential of these insane orcs. Madboyz often gather informally around Weird Boys, and live separately from other orcs in small shanty towns. They are seen as lucky, with their presence considered a sign of good fortune. However, this also brings some inconvenience as the Madboyz might start talking to imaginary friends or create a new vehicle that destroys half the clan. Weird Boys can exert some form of control over the Madboyz, but that is tenuous at best, as Weird Boys have a very precarious position in orc society already. An orc knob or even a war boss might have little to no power over a Madboy. Madboys love forming mad mobs, groups of fellow crazed orcs. While each Madboy shows his own unique quirks when alone, a mob of them together behaves in an even more bizarre and unpredictable manner. In the heat of combat, the frenzy of one Madboy can swiftly infect others, triggering a surge of collective abnormal behavior. Once this frenzy wanes, it gives way to a new wave of unpredictable actions incited by another Madboy's rantings within the group. Throughout the battle, the mob rampages across the field, creating immense confusion and concern for both allies and enemies with their unpredictable actions. Occasionally, the Madboyz inexplicably perform something remarkably effective at the perfect moment, disrupting the enemy and rescuing a struggling orc mob just in time. In one tale, it's told of a Madboy rescuing a mob of boys from a fierce battle with Death Guard Chaos Space Marines. The orcs, though greatly outnumbering the plague-ridden Marines, were struggling, their lines breaking under the relentless onslaught. Just as it seemed the orcs might be completely slaughtered, a squad of Madboys stumbled onto the battlefield, their crazed eyes wide with manic energy. One particular Madboy, known as Zardo the Nutty, had found a peculiar contraption during their rampage, a rusty, old Imperial radio. Zardo, in his madness, was convinced it was a powerful weapon. He began fiddling with the dials and shouting into the microphone, believing he was casting a devastating spell. Meanwhile, the orc mob nearby was being cornered by the Plague Marines. Just as the situation looked dire, Zardo's spell took effect. Unbeknownst to him, his random tinkering had activated a distress signal on all Imperial frequencies, causing interference with the Death Guard's communication systems. The Plague Marines' helmets were suddenly filled with blaring static and orcish gibberish. Confused and disoriented from the sudden infusion of greenskin psychic energy, the Plague Marines faltered. Sensing an opportunity, the beleaguered orc mob rallied, their morale boosted by the apparent divine intervention of Gorg, or possibly Mork. With renewed vigor, they charged at the bewildered Plague Marines, bashing them with crude weapons and overwhelming them with sheer numbers, emboldened by what they thought was divine intervention from their gods. Zardo, still babbling into the radio, was completely oblivious to the chaos he had inadvertently caused. As the orcs drove the Death Guard back, They roared in laughter and cheers, convinced that Zardo had indeed summoned a powerful spell. The Mad Boy himself just grinned, believing he had indeed cast a mighty spell. Mad Boys are surprisingly effective on the battlefield, as their antics often baffle the enemy. Even the best tactician cannot predict the chaotic movements of a Mad Boys mob in the heat of battle. How can you anticipate an enemy that might just as easily tear apart an enemy position with their bare hands as they are to sitting down for a quick nap in the heat of battle?